Hey everyone, Sarah here at Three Little Potters, and since this is New Year's Eve, this will be officially the very last kiln opening of the year. All right, it's a little bit hotter than I might like for unloading, but we have limited light, so here we go. Ooh, the top shelf looks pretty colorful. Some favorites, some different combos, some different clays, and I have some new glazes hopefully on the next shelf. All right, here we go. It is Sunrise and Blue Opal over Dark Star Clay. And I can see a few imperfections on that Dark Star Clay. Looks pretty good overall though. Shallot. White on the inside. The white looks like it heals over well. It looks like the Spectrum floating glazes are having a little bit of trouble around where the speckles are. And it ran a little bit. Actually, I think that's just kiln dirt. My shelves need to be cleaned, I know. Okay, this is Blue Opal with snow on the rim. That's dirty snow. And Dark Star Clay again. Blue Opal looking pretty solid on the inside. So, all right, this is Ginger. What that black spot is, looks like I got something on this one. Yeah, I don't actually love the Dark Star Clay with most of my glazes, I guess. I want to love it because it's so nice to throw with, but it's definitely frustrating in other ways. This is Studio White and Green Tea and Lavender Mist. And it's Studio White comes down to about here, and then one coat of green tea brushed and one coat of lavender mist brushed on the outside. I like that combo. I think I would like that combo more on a different clay. A little bit of a runner here. This is Ivy over Studio White on the Dark Star. Again, the Dark Star really does like that Studio White glaze. No imperfections there, so I'm glad I used that on the inside of these. Wherever that was, it seems like there's pretty much no pinholes, but where it isn't, I'm definitely getting little pinholes there from the off-gassing. A bit of running here too. This is Brown Bear Clay with floating blue and snow over white. Love that rim. I don't know if that's showing very well, but pretty. Needs sanding. This is the Speckled Blues. It's a Mayco Stroke and Coat over Studio White with a little bit of Dirty Snow as a modifier. Love how it's getting really blue right there. And I know I've got a lot of little dishes too. Okay, this is Sunrise over White and Spectrum Sunrise by itself. Another one there. This is Sunrise by itself and Sunrise over Canary Yellow. Fuzzy Peach. And do we have another Fuzzy Peach? Nope, this is Tiger's Eye. And another Tiger's Eye. I'm pretty consistent there. This is Fuzzy Peach and Sunrise together, I believe. Could be just Fuzzy Peach. And this is Fuzzy Peach over Hanson Yellow. It looks like it wanted to crawl right here, but then filled itself back in with the firing schedule, so that's good. Spectrum Fuzzy Peach. Lots of happy colors. This is Laguna Desert Sunset, and I'm still having trouble with this glaze. It crawled, I'm not surprised, when it was going on. It went on a little too thick, and then it sort of crackled apart, and then it was just overall kind of a hot mess when applying. So I figured something was up with it and that I was going to have trouble. So this is in the refire pile. This is Jaded Mayco Stroke and Coat over Studio White with Dirty Snow. Same combo here. I do like Jaded from the Speckled Stroke and Coat. It's one of those ones that has the multicolor speckles instead of just one color. I think the blues and some of the other ones have just the blue speckles, but that has the multi-confetti speckles. And Speckled Grapple. Dirty Snow is the modifier. Here we have Shallot over White. Touch the kiln shelf just a little there, but I think that's probably an application error. And I was hoping this was actually Juneberry Purple that I was putting the Speckled Grapple over, but clearly it is not. That is Hanson Robin's Egg, and the purple would have looked a little bit better on the purple base, but it's still fine. Sorcerer's Stone by Coyote, and that is over the Dark Star Clay, and I don't think it loves it either. It's a little bit pinholy. Sorcerer's Stone on B-Mix 5, behaving much better than it did on the Dark Star Clay. Here we have Chun Seafoam over Night. I know I just did this combination, but they were very quick to sell for me. I find that a lot of times people who are newly engaged, they'll get like a ring holder for themselves, and then they'll look for something that's in a more masculine color. So I'll get a lot of people who will buy two. They'll buy like one in the pink tones, and then they'll get one that's a little bit darker. This is Night with the Chun Seafoam, and I believe I put Lynette Opal over this as well. It could have been Dirty Snow, but I think I did Lynette Opal on this one. I was interested to see if that modifier was going to make the Hanson glaze crawl, but it didn't, so that's great news. And also great news that this didn't crawl. So this is Shallot over that Hanson Night. It's a very pretty variation in the center there. Hey. And this is Ivy over Leaping Lizard. A little thinnish on the sides. That Leaping Lizard could have been thicker, but I didn't want to get out another brush, so it's very pretty on the inside though. The thinner coat sometimes will bring out the sort of the spiral look. Similar here. And this is Blue Opal, and that's a mixed glaze with Dirty Snow. And again, Coyote's Sorcerer's Stone. And here I'm using it over the white. I like it a little bit better over white than I do by itself. And here I'm trying the Sorcerer's Stone on, it is Sorcerer's Stone, yes. Looks almost even better. I'm trying it on the Rue Stoneware. See how that reacts there. And I'm not seeing any pinholing or anything like I did on this. So same combo, Dark Star Clay, lots of pinholes, Rue Stoneware. It's pretty good. Just interesting. Little tiger's eye mushroom. And a little sunrise mushroom. I had a few that didn't make it into the last kiln load, so Shallots over white. Oof, and my kiln shelf is dirty, so a lot of these are going to need a small amount of grinding. The speckled blues, Mayco stroking coat over white. This is Hansen with Victoria green stain and a little bit of Studio White on the rim. Usually 7%, I believe, on that Victoria green stain in that recipe. And this is the Studio White with floating blue and snow on the inside. Next shelf is a little hot, but looks pretty good. I see my new glaze, which is this. Didn't behave quite as I wanted it to, except that I believe that's my new glaze right there with a modifier over it. And wow, so not great by itself, but possibly excellent with something else. So yes, okay, so this is Nebulosa. That's a new glaze I'm trying out to see if it's worth mixing before I show you guys too much about it. And this right here is, I believe it's Nebulosa with Lynette Opal. So that's kind of really surprising. Yes, let's redo that one, huh? That looks awesome. And like, wow, look at all that variation there. So I am not sad that I mixed that at this point. Sorry. I'm looking. I think there's another one in there, but we'll keep going. We'll keep going. So this is green tea and lavender mist over white. One full brushed coat of each of those. Strontium gloss with dove gray. Spectrum's cactus over Studio White. Cactus is another one of those ones that goes sometimes a little bit too army green for me when it's by itself, but over Studio White it brings out a little bit more of a, not blue, but it's kind of tones down that army green look. Wow, okay. This is Chun Seafoam over Night with snow. I know it bumped into something and it's got kind of this interesting red stripe on it. I wonder what I wonder what I bumped it against. It's interesting. Yeah, that looks really, really pretty. I forgot. I know I must have done this combo before, but it looks a lot different on a larger bowl with more glaze. So this is from last kiln opening. When I went to list it, I realized on the inside I had a spot where wax had touched the side. So I filled this spot back in and refired it, and looks like it's good now. So I'm happy about that because I didn't want to lose that cup. Sunrise and Dove Gray. I believe this is Black Walnut and Snow. I was second guessing myself as to whether that was cordovan, but I think that is Black Walnut and Snow. This is Blue Opal, and I believe it has Chun Seafoam on the edge. If you can see that. Is June Purple. And I believe it has Desert Sunset on the edge. Some of these combos look a lot like other combos, so it's interesting. But yeah, that's what I had out. So Lavender Mist over Studio White. And this is Delft with Honey Flux. That's Hansen with a 3% Delft stain in it. Strontium Gloss with Dove. This is Mayco's Ivy by itself. Yeah, I think it's just Lamont and Chun Seafoam. I know it's Lamont, but I'm a little bit surprised at the yellow in it. Not really yellow, but yeah, here it is again, Lamont and Chun Seafoam. Canary with Honey Flux. Sunrise. And this is Sunrise over White in a mini mug. There was just one mini mug that I missed from that listing, so I think that one will have to wait till next year. Strontium Gloss and Dove Gray over Rue Stoneware. It looks pretty good. I don't see too many flaws there, so. Waterfall Brown with Lynette Opal. So when I list the ring dishes, sometimes I'll get like a flurry. So a lot of people were buying up the brown combo. So I had enough time to get some more of those into the kiln this time around before they're sold out. So just surprised that they were going so quickly. So this is Ancient Jasper. And I believe Lynette Opal. And I'm surprised by that result in that edge there. I don't know if you can see it in better light. But yeah, that's really pretty. So we need to try Ancient Jasper and Lynette Opal again. Rising Sun Chang with Lynette Opal on B-Mix. This Night with Cactus. Blue Opal Tester on Rue Stoneware. Looks good. Looks solid there. I wonder if it just didn't get hot enough on that top shelf. I don't know. This is Sangria by Spectrum with Blue Opal. I'm still looking for a good pink-blue combo. Maybe this will brighten up for me later on. Variegated Dove Gray by itself. And same with this one. This is just Variegated Dove Gray. I was able to dehydrate my June Purple glaze a little bit from last time. And so I think it's about how I would like it to be now. And that is with Chun Seafoam on the rim. This is Dove, Midnight, and a teeny bit of Jasper. And the spot of something I dropped in the middle. This is Night and Green Tea. To find a way to get that green tea to show up a little bit better on the night. I like the gold crystals, but I feel like it's really, really light. June Purple and Chun Seafoam with a little bit of Lynette Opal on this one too. Blue Opal and Dirty Snow. Same with this one. Lavender Mist. And this is Lavender Mist over Lamont. And it ran a little bit. Tiger's Eye. Tiger's Eye again. That is the Spectrum Tiger's Eye, not the Mayco one. And again, this is the Nebulosa by itself, which semi-disappointing, but I think it has real potential. So I'll probably try to refire those and see if I can get some more out of it in a different combo. This is some strontium gloss with manganese added in, and dove, and an extra nice little ring dish. Every once in a while, I feel like I trim one that's really nice and it just gets mixed in with the others, so you never know. I feel like the person who usually gets the special one leaves a review there. They're like, whoa, this one's really nice. And I'm like, oh, that one's special. I could have charged more, but I just put it in the mix. Shelf 3 looks pretty good. It looks like some good stuff in here. So I was having a lot of trouble getting this glaze to stick to this pot, so I am not surprised. I decided to fire it anyway. I need to work on the, so what it is it's sea gold, Laguna sea gold over white, and it got a little bit too dried out in the dish, and so I guess it was going a little thick. So I brushed it on, and then it was definitely cracking off. It definitely did not adhere. So there were pieces of it sort of falling off onto the kiln when it was dry, and I should have just taken it out. But I decided to go with it, so I'll probably try to fill in those spots, see if I can refire it. But really, really pretty. Just, yeah, it was an application problem. There were problems going on there, so not surprised at all. This is Rising Sun Chang over Brown Bear Clay. It was a double dip. Double dip could have gone all the way to the bottom, I think. So one dip, two dip. This is Nimbus over Studio White, and that's a Mayco glaze. It's one of those, I don't know, call it a moody gray blue, stormy ocean kind of color for me. Nimbus on a mushroom. Laguna Sea Gold again, and I think it stayed on this time. I believe this is also sea gold. It almost looks like blue opal, but I think it's sea gold, especially you can see where it was misbehaving on that rim. It's been a while, so I did a rose quartz by itself just to kind of remind myself what that looks like without anything on it. It's a little bit more matte finished than when I layer it with Studio White. But some really pretty variation there. Here it is over the Studio White, and it is a gloss finish now. But definitely less variation. No, it's too hot to hold up. So by itself over Studio White. Probably would have gotten a little more variation over the Studio White if I'd gone thicker with it. This is green tea and lavender mist over Roost stoneware with a bit of white on the inside. Speckled plum over Studio White. Okay, this is, I call this glaze Smoky Merlot. It is the original of the June Purple Chrome tin, and the original of it is a little bit redder of a purple than I like. So I generally add purple to this recipe, and that's where I get my June Purple. I add cobalt to the recipe, excuse me, just a small amount to kind of tip that over into a more blue purple. But this is the recipe by itself, and it's got a little bit of Lynette Opal on the rim on this one. It's, I think, a pretty recipe by itself. It almost has a, I don't know, flambe look to it, if you're used to that glaze. And this is Speckled Plum over Studio White. I have a video I'm putting together this week on this glaze, and I am glad that my pieces came out. This is Tove, and it's a crystalline glaze in sort of this light green, and it grows very smooth, flat crystals that are generally pretty nice and safe. I wanted to try it on the Roux stoneware, and it looks like it behaved itself pretty well there. I don't see any pinholes or anything, so win-win. And then I did just a couple of ring dishes with it on it. Really behaved itself. Looks like my specific gravity is good and everything is pretty spot on for that. So this is Hansen with Delft Stain and a dip of Studio White. Again, Mayco's Rose Quartz over white. Night Floating Blue and Dirty Snow. Another one of that same combo. I believe this is Shallot over white. I thought I did a cup that had ginger over white as well. So it could either be ginger or shallot. I think, what do we think? Maybe ginger? I think both are probably going to give a similar tone. So either way, it's really pretty. Nimbus over Studio White. I know we're losing light. I'm sorry. I hope you guys can still see these pots okay. And this is Waterfall Brown with a rather thicker coat of linnet opal on that rim. This is what that new recipe Nebulosa looks like over white. So definitely a glaze that needs a modifier. It's kind of a brown. But we'll see. I'll see if there's anything I can do with it on a refire. It might be okay with something added. Oh, okay. This is interesting. Okay, this is the Tove glaze on the brown bear clay. I was interested if it would have any opacity. So same glaze, different clay body. And it does have some opacity to it because it's definitely, you can see the clay didn't entirely eat the glaze color, and I do have some little bit of crystals on the edge. It definitely looks better on the white clay in my opinion, but Sangria, and I believe Floating Blue on this one. Sangria and Floating Blue over white. Delft and Honey Flux. Canary Yellow over white on a little mushroom. Rising Sun Chang with a full coat of linnet opal over the top. Strontium Gloss. Amico's Ancient Jasper. 2 brushed coats. Hansen with 3% Delft Stain. Studio White dipped to here. That Studio White really doesn't move on this combo, so very slight oil spot effect. It needs to be, I think, a stiffer glaze to get an oil spot effect there. This is Delft. And I believe I put snow on the rim. The snow sort of going a little teeny bit yellow there, so some sort of a reaction. Oh, one more. And this is the sangria with floating blue, which makes me think that I mischaracterized this one. I think this is actually sangria with blue opal, because that floating blue is going very dark on those. So, right, last shelf. Looks pretty cool down here. Losing light, but it looks cool still. All right, so this cup was a Refire. I put some shipwreck on it. It was the cup last time. It was supposed to have satin patina here and dove gray, and the satin patina was pretty non-existent. So this is what it looks like. I don't know if it's going to come off of this cookie or not. Probably. I'm not going to force it right now. It doesn't look like it's adhered though, just a teeny bit maybe of pucking. I think that'll pop off though. Ooh, that looks kind of cool. So this is that poor man's smoky Merlot, if you will, or the June Perry purple recipe. It looks pretty cool though. Actually really like that feathering where it hits the white. So it's over studio white here. Pretty thick coat of it too. Just one coat though. And I think I dipped it actually. It was one quick dip. Ooh, cute. Oh, this looks cute. I'm gonna make a bigger bucket of this. Okay, so this was the Rising Sun Chang on the brown bear clay. This one had like a little teeny mailbox I put on it. I know, house season's over, but it's a really winning combo. It has sort of that Arctic blue vibe. I did dip the whole thing in the Rising Sun Chang, and then I did Lynette Opal just on the roof here because I thought it might bring out the texture. Maybe still a little thick to show that texture, but really cute overall. I like that one. And this was Rising Sun Chang with Lynette Opal on the Rue stoneware. Ancient Jasper. Just by itself here. We could have gone one more coat on the outside. Outside's a little plain. Inside looks really cool though. This was the, still looks like it has a few pinholes. From last time, it is Cordovan Birch and Dirty Snow, and it had some pinholes, and I put a little bit of Ancient Jasper on the outside to see if it would fix them, and it didn't really. They're only on the outside, so I may just go ahead and sell it as a second. Because it's still a really cute cup. It's a shame. Shame on the outside. Few boo-boos. Right. This was a Twilight bowl. Yeah, it wasn't perfect last time. I hit it again. I still don't know if I love it. I don't like where it goes slightly matte on the inside of something. It might be okay. I'll look at it again and see what I think of it when it's colder. Floating blue and dove gray. I put a little bit of, what did I put over this? Fruit of the Vine. I was hoping to cover up that eggplant spot in the middle a little bit, but I think I probably should have just put more eggplant over it. I think the Fruit of the Vine added a little bit of a bluer tint to it, but it still has that spot in the bottom. I guess it's not really a bad thing. It's just a color spot. This is Shipwreck with Snow. Shipwreck's getting down to the bottom. There's a lot of glaze crystals, those sort of brown chunks. So I think the snow is really helping those melt, but I'm definitely getting an interesting browner appearance to my Shipwreck that I'm used to. Fruit of the Vine. Dirty Snow is a modifier. a Refire, and I don't think it behaved that well. It ran last time. I put a little bit of Fruit of the Vine over it. It's been months on this one. It's definitely not perfect, but it is pretty in the very middle. Ooh. Ooh. My holly green cup, and I think I hoped I was going to hide it with ancient jasper, and it has just gotten very green brown. It's not a bad color, it just matches none of the pottery that I normally sell, so it's kind of jarring. And I think I tried to cover up the satin patina mishap last time with leaping lizard. Mixed result, a little bit of it here, but not showing so much there. This copper float, I'm sorry, it's not copper float, it's Bailey's 2 red, and I put a little bit of ancient jasper in the middle. It's actually pretty in person, that one. So this was Spectrum's floating papaya, and I wanted to see what ancient jasper would do on the rim here, see if it would mute it or not. Definitely giving some interesting variation there with that combo. Ginger. All right, I've pulled the last ones out onto the rim of the kiln here so that hopefully it'll go a little faster. These were the Ivy Overnight Refires from last time. And it looks like, yes, the Ivy fixed in the middle, but most of them crawled a little bit on the Refire. Dove and Midnight. This is the Ivy, Mayco's Ivy Overnight. Well, this one did come out perfect. Bottom's fine on this one. Woohoo! Victoria Green. When I first dipped my Victoria Green, it was definitely too thick, and I knew it as soon as I did it that it was too thick. So those other two that I did in that color did not have running, but this one was. Probably should have washed it off and waited for next time, but I didn't. So Victoria Green and Snow on that edge of that one. Fruit of the Vine and Snow. Dirty Snow. This was a June Purple that was a little bit too thin last time, and I tried to put a little Fruit of the Vine over it to see what would happen. A little bit more purple. Leaping Lizard with Dirty Snow over white. This was the Refire of the Slate with Snow. I put a little bit of bluegrass on this side there, and that filled in pretty well with that color combo. Spectrum's Ginger by itself. That June Perry reddish purple. Copper Float. Rose Quartz by itself. Dove Gray and Raspberry Mist, a little bit of shallot on a Refire. These are the Night with Floating Blue and Snow. Got a few of those. They're always a little different. It's so hard to list them because they're always, I feel like they all need to be listed individually because the pattern always changes. Waterfall with Lynette Opal. Copper Float. I think I keep looking for a smoother surface on this one, and it's just not going to happen, so probably just list it. And this one, like it's got a slight weird crawl spot on it. Possibly wax, I'm not sure. I believe night and floating blue here as well. Maybe a heavy bit of the dirty snow. And that's it. We're done. It's been a great year. I'm going to do another video talking about my goals for the business, and maybe we'll do a financial recap of the year. But thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for following my channel this year. It's been a lot of fun. So thank you.